As promised, I will be offering for free Chapter 1 of What Comes After Cancer, written by me, Patricia Rodi. Hopefully you've received your copy so you can read along. Here we go. Chapter 1, Flying to Freedom. We are born alone, we die alone. Late summer 2017. We arrive in Cuba in the middle of the night, hungry and tired out by the travel from airport to airport and a long bus ride to our resort. When we check in, the receptionist tells us there is a 24-hour restaurant on the property, so we're soon eating grilled chicken burgers and fries before turning in. I take note of the location. I have a feeling I'll be using it. These all-inclusives are my favorite vacations. I have to eat often, so it is a relief knowing there is always an open kitchen. It's been a long road to recovery, and I am finally spending time with my family without having to exhaust my energy cooking, doing chores, or being sick. I am looking forward to being with my 14-year-old daughter Isabella to help her forget the harder days of the past. The next morning, as we step outside of our second floor, orange-themed resort room, Isabella looks for the baby iguana she found lingering around the light of our hallway door. Though she thinks it's the cutest thing and looks forward to catching a glimpse every day, she is secretly afraid of it. We follow it until it disappears into the brush. We head toward the stairs in the center of the 2-story building. The concrete roof protects only the hallways, but the thriving vegetation that separates the guest room hallways loves the rainfall. The 4 corners of the building on the top floor offer balcony views, and the first floor open exits. At the bottom of the stairs, a wide, doorless opening leads us to the reception area and most of the restaurants, including the breakfast buffet. The walk is pleasant with lush green trees and colorful flowers, not to mention larger iguanas camouflaged in the greenery or in the plain sight on the walkways. They always seem to be frozen in time with their still, long bodies and blank stare. The restaurant is about 200 steps away, and we pass through the reception area where Isabella hooks up to Wi-Fi to check in with her friends back home in Montreal. Come on, honey, I'm hungry. I had trouble connecting. This Wi-Fi is so slow. I'm almost done sending my streaks. She continues swiping and typing. 1 more second. The omelet chef will soon get to know us well, knowing our order even before we ask for it. He's a popular guy at this resort, and I wonder how his arm isn't sore from scrambling each egg order individually. I'm able to finish about half of my veggie and onion omelet, 5 or 6 small cubed roasted potatoes, half a slice of buttered country-style bread, and some of the luscious mango most guests anxiously awaited after each meal. I fold a couple of croissant, pastry, and banana in napkins to take to the beach. Then we head back to the room to freshen up. I discreetly catch my breath from climbing the 20 or so steps at the center of the building, my legs aching. Let's hurry, guys, or I'll be hungry again. I lie down on the unmade bed to digest breakfast until my husband Mariano and Isabella are ready. Minutes later, we're walking toward the beach path, another 200 steps or so. I'm glad our room is located centrally between the beach and the dining room. Oh, look, we can try lunch at this buffet today. I am excited at the venue so close to the beach. Staff is already setting the tables. We just finished breakfast, Patricia, says Mariano, raising an eyebrow. I can come here to eat when it opens. You and Isabella can come later, and I'll join you so I can eat again. We cross the beach with towels from the towel bar, and I look for a quiet spot. It's getting late and places are scarce. Mariano walks quickly to the far end of the beach chair and umbrella rows and sets us up. When I finally catch up, out of breath from the heat and the walk, I drop my bag and take in the view. The lounging chairs are extremely heavy for me to drag. Can I have a chair in the sun, please? I feel terrible having to rely on my family to do things for me. Me too, Isabella adds. Cuba's beaches are divine, and the sea is a warm bath, calm and soothing. The water is so clear you can see the white sand below, sifting over your feet. It's quite peaceful by the shore without the surf forcing you to raise your voice when hanging around the edge of the water. The salt water splashing on my lips may be the only unpleasant thing about this vacation. The trees are lush and green, including the native royal palm, which are making a slapping sound as winds move the leaves back and forth. On the beach, some palm trees slant toward the sea, creating a large patch of shade in the late afternoon. The beach umbrella tops are stitched together with an ancient shredded palm branches. Some have been ripped out by strong winds. Those umbrellas are left for latecomers. I noticed scattered flower bushes along the resort paths. One of them is Cuba's national flower. The gardeners we passed each morning told us it is a white ginger flower, or la mariposa, because its shape resembles a butterfly. It gives off the sweet jasmine scent that pervades the resort grounds. Another one of my favorite flowers was the heliconia, because they look like what we know as birds of paradise. For me, these flowers represent strength and persistence. Shades of reds and oranges create year-round gardens here, a welcome contrast to the sleet and ice-covered branches back home. The people that take care of us are friendly, despite the poverty that we know is the norm outside this manicured gardens of the resort. We caught glimpses of the real Cuba on the drive from the airport. We are complicit with this poverty just by staying here. But I tell myself that the country of Cuba relies on tourism to survive. I hope that spending hard-earned Canadian dollars here, my little family is doing more good than harm to the amazing people who tend to us and to our needs each day of this vacation. Facing the least populated corner of the beach, I remove my beach wrap discreetly to reveal my scrawny, pale body in a bikini. I am 48 years of age, and I'm currently weighing in at 108 pounds, much less than a healthy woman of my height ought to weigh. Not so long ago, I felt like I was 88 years of age. Today things feel better, but I am still timid about my scars and rake-thing appearance. I stash the wrap in my bag and sit on the lounging chair, leaning forward and resting my hands on my lap, letting my arms conceal the little rolls on my belly. I ask my daughter if she wants to come with me into the water, and she nods. We walk quickly over the hot sand and immerse our scorched feet in the tropical seawater. I am amazed to be here, enjoying the warm breeze against my skin and the beauty of the ocean I have longed for in wintry Montreal. I forget for a few moments the long months of suffering. Isabella scurries away from the school of tiny silver fish. Don't worry, I say. They won't touch you. I felt them hit my ankles. I laugh. But to be truthful, I don't like those fish around me either. Isabella eventually eases her long, lean body into the water and swims. The water is calm enough, and the sand bottom descends in a long, slow slope, so I don't worry about an undercurrent. I don't know how to swim, so I tell her to stay close to me. Do you want to go back? She asks me. Since the operation, she's been protective, as if the roles had somehow switched and I was relegated to daughter status. Sure, I say, grateful. Isabella wants to get a suntan before beginning secondary 3 in a week or so. I could use a little color myself. I show Isabella how to back out of the water and keep her feet clean on the wet sand until they dry off. This way, she won't take as much sand back onto her towel. Tourists are walking along the coastline, staring ahead as they chat, looking out at the ships taking visitors to smaller islands or admiring the water skiers jumping waves. As people approach us on the beach, I can feel the glances at my belly. I imagine what they're thinking. She looks sick, or perhaps, what happened to her? Isabella and I walk back to the chairs where Mariano has dozed off. He could lie there without budging the full 2 weeks. He'll occasionally take a dip in the turquoise sea or walk along the shore. As much as I would love to lose all concept of time, I have to keep strict schedules. I can no longer tolerate hours of heat, excessive activity, or going without food and water for more than an hour. Constant eating and drinking is the only way to keep up the little strength I have. As I angle my chair away from the shade of the umbrella, I notice a stranger looking my way. People sometimes stare like this, with curiosity. My eye catches his, and we both turn away. The scars are certainly obvious, but they are a part of me, and I will not hide them away. It's just that sometimes I forget they are visible and shocking to others. The thought that a stranger can look at me and wonder what terrible story I have to tell stirs up emotions and memories that lie just under my skin. The onlooker may have been shocked by the sight of my torso. As my skin tans, the scars become more visible, since scar tissue doesn't tan. From right below the breastline, one white line runs all the way down the center toward my navel, then shifts to the right and passes the belly button about 1 inch wide of it. Aside from an uneven stitch and brownish dots left behind by the staples that look like beauty spots evenly spaced out vertically and horizontally on both sides of the scar, this one isn't so horrible to look at when I'm upright. It's the second scar, about 3 inches to the left of my navel, that is truly awful. It looks like a second navel, a sunken round hole that looks black from far away. The jagged bulges in my skin around this hole can be seen through form-fitting clothing. After an hour and a half or so, I am growing tired of the heat. We have eaten most of my snacks, and the ones that remain became inedible. There are no beach waiters, so I beg Mariano to get fresh drinks. No alcohol, I remind him. I dehydrate quickly, and already I'm feeling the heat. Can we go to the pool now? After our buffet lunch, I go to the pool with Isabella, while Mariano returns to the beach. She loves the freedom of swimming without the fish, the sand, and the waves. 13 years ago, almost to the day, at age 35, my life stopped. The world I knew came to a standstill. My family and my work were pushed aside, and my dreams were thrown overboard. My reaction was immediate. Some part of me took over, a very basic part, a sort of animal survival, getting me through the days. It was September 8th, 2004, and I had just undergone a gastroscopy, an invasive examination with a gastroscope to check for the presence of disease. I would soon find out that the tumors clogging the entrance to my stomach were cancerous. Within a couple of weeks, I was diagnosed with stage 3B stomach cancer. Surgery was scheduled immediately. Chemo and radiation therapies would follow. Stage 4 cancer is generally terminal. I was diagnosed at stage 3B, which offers some chance of survival, but nonetheless feels like a death sentence. Cancer.net describes stage 3 as larger cancers or tumors that have grown more deeply into nearby tissue. They may also have spread to lymph nodes, but not to other parts of the body. This is pretty accurate in my case. Stomach cancer had infected 3 of my lymph nodes. Stage 4 means the cancer has spread to other organs. Fortunately, I wasn't quite there. married less than 4 years. I was the mother of a 1-year-old girl, Isabella. A month and a half prior to my diagnosis, I had moved with my husband and daughter into our newly constructed home. There were still stacks of boxes sitting in the library, waiting to be unpacked. I had returned from maternity leave about 9 months earlier to a job I loved as office manager, corporate paralegal at a bustling downtown law firm. My life had just taken shape in a beautiful new home with my husband and daughter, and hopefully more children to come. I need this to go well. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you get to read the rest of the book. As I said, it's available everywhere. Books are sold, so I would appreciate the support. Now I'd like to turn to the first sharing challenge, the challenges that I've mentioned in the trailer. I briefly talk about some of my experiences throughout my cancer journey and ask my listeners to share their stories with a few questions. Feel free to post your stories here. I want to read them. I may even share them throughout the podcast. Sharing Challenge 1: Getting a Cancer Diagnosis. From the time I actually gave my symptoms medical attention, it took about 6 months for my stage 3B stomach cancer diagnosis to be discovered. Test after test, doctor after doctor, waiting and worrying, but never considering cancer. No one is immune, I told my husband. After I found out it was cancer, I cried. I don't want to die. My little girl was 1.5 years. I had to fight for her. She would not remember me if I didn't give myself the chance, or if treatment didn't work. Today, she is 21 years old. I am so grateful to share in her life. So did you have trouble getting doctors to help you get the answers you deserve? How long did your diagnosis take? Who are you fighting for? And how are you doing today? That's probably one of the most important questions. So please share your story with me, and I thank you for listening today. I hope we get to share many more experiences together, help each other through them, make tomorrow brighter for everyone, and one day be able to say, cures are available to us. Until next time, take care, everyone. Bye for now.